We in the office.
There's a price you pay for the game you play.
Oh! We in the office.
Oh! Welcome back to Say It How You Feel. I'm Mo.
I'm Say.
And we got a special fucking episode for you today. One of the dopest MCs to come out of Central PA. And if you keen on the whole geek scene that's been popping, yo, my dog he up and coming. He taking over. Be on the watch out for my dog. Be on the watch out for my dog. AKA Mr. 1/6-ScaleMan, my motherfucking dog. My brother, Mr. Lael Rockwell.
What's going on? What's up?
Thank you for coming and kicking it with us, my
Welcome,
dog.
yeah.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome,
I
man.
appreciate you.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Appreciate
Oh
that.
man, it makes me feel kind of weird having you on the show, bro. Like this shit. I
You
feel
know
the
what?
vibe.
You're next to greatness every day.
I know, right? Every day.
Big facts. Well, Lael, nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, no doubt,
it was
appreciate
dope.
that.
We was catching up prior to.
Yeah.
And bro, it feels like family.
I can see it in your face,
know.
bro. Your vibe, your posture's kind of.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know, man. It made me feel.
Listen,
It made me
I'm
feel kind of strange, my nigga.
I'm sorry. I'm super excited, and I know like Mo had went to the kitchen. He looked at me. He's like, "Nigga, I feel this energy."
You could
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
the energy in
Yes.
the room.
Yeah.
I love it though.
So, as always, I'm gonna get ahead and start diving in. So, please tell us about yourself, who you are, where you come from,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna get ahead and start diving into these questions, and we're gonna
Okay.
dig, man. But
Okay.
I am before we even begin, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank
Yeah.
you for taking time out of your day,
Yeah.
and spend time with your family to come and sit down with us and
And welcome,
expand. Yes,
welcome to Say It How You Feel.
Yes.
My dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
No doubt, man.
So please tell us about yourself.
I mean, it's not as complex,
Mhm.
you know. Moved here. I said I've been in Harrisburg probably since off and on. I've been in Harrisburg probably since about I want to say 93,
Okay.
93,
Damn.
94. Like I
didn't think
said,
you been here that
28
long.
years.
yeah, it's
20
just
years.
I've been off and on though, back
Yeah.
and forth because like I said, I mean I was back and forth between Georgia Tech, went to
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech University,
Nice.
engineer, degree in music and engineering.
Dope.
So I mean basically
Shout
did
out.
that. I went to Georgia Tech for 2 years and then I left and came back here to finish off my degree.
Nice.
And got that. After I got my degree, I moved from, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia. I was there for about 10 years, 10, 11 years.
Internationally known.
Yeah, so I was over there for a while. Moved back here in 2014 and just been going since, man.
Mhm.
Like your journey itself is biblical. And the reason why I say this is because it's all documented. Like this stuff is
I like that
documented.
word.
I say it in the sense where it's your life, anywhere you tread, anywhere you lay your feet, every step you take is documented. You know what I mean? So it's just like my journey has been spectacular, like within the last few years, but I think it's been guided by certain things. So, but at the same time, I've kind of found myself. I think everything that actually took place with COVID.
Mhm.
With the shutdown and everyone being, assigned to pretty much staying in the comfort of your own home.
Yes.
You had to find ways to kind of like, socially entertain not just yourself, but kind of get to know your surroundings. But then at the same time, you're finding that like you discover more because, you're doing the research, you're, connecting to so many different individuals. They've created platforms that we can have now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like doing that within the last, I would say year and a half has been incredible, bro. Like, I mean, I started the YouTube channel 1/6thScaleMan actually when I met, Toya. She, we met and I talked to her about it. I said, like, I wanted to start reviews. You know what I mean? I was like, I've
I'm
been
sorry.
doing
Who's
this.
Toya?
That's my girl. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
That's the
you know,
queen.
yeah. So, I told her I want to actually start doing reviews. I was following a couple individuals who did the same thing. I was like, you know what, this is something I could do. You know what I mean? I'm already in that world, in that realm, so why not do it? So we started it. I started it in actually 2018, going into 2019. But once COVID hit and everything sort of like took a hold.
Erupted,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, everybody got complacent. I had to stop that, you know what I mean, for a while.
Right.
And just kind of just make sure that the family structure and the foundation was taken care of, but still collecting. You know, and I was still basically doing that. Still, you know, because the thing is, it started out with me just collecting. I've been collecting since, you know, inception, since I was little. You know what I mean? You know, we're talking about from Kenner to Hasbro to Mattel.
Yes.
You know, now Black Series. Like, we're talking about so many different things. So I was even actually getting, which I still do, getting some of my figures and stuff overseas, you know, from Hong Kong. I would actually get them from like
Straight
resellers
from the
over
source.
there. Exactly.
Straight from the source.
So I get them sent here. Things that you couldn't find here, I would actually get, you know, over there. So, you know, it was more accessible because we just, you know, here we're just not open to it, you know, as much. But, you know, I started, you know, I was already getting those things, already submersed in the world. So I was like, you know what, why not just review it, you know? And, you know, right now, like, social media is live for it. And on top of that, geek culture is huge.
Phenomenal. We're definitely going to touch on the geek culture.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest things, right, since I've been collecting since I was a kid. 2005, right before I started high school, I've been collecting. One of the biggest things that I noticed since then till now is the way action figures and certain figures are formed, the material, the detail. This is a world we're stepping into where many people don't really know. Right. And if you know about it, you're like, oh, I'm calling shots on this, or I know what's up and what's not. One of the biggest things that I realize as we get older, I have noticed that geek quote unquote culture is becoming more popular. Anime is becoming more popular. I have a buddy of mine who's well into his 40s. And the other day he texted me, he was like, yo, you know what? One thing I appreciate about you is that when it comes to your sons, you put them onto everything. And I do. I put my sons onto anime. I put them onto sports, everything. And I want them to just be as happy and free as they can when it comes to things that they like. No one should ever feel scrutinized for things that they like, as long as it's right and it's not wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that are wrong. That's taboo. However, you know, watching cartoons or anime is not. And one thing I've learned as a writer, because I'm a screenwriter, is that anime has the best storylines and character development. I'm a grown ass man, and you could make me cry.
Off a cartoon.
Off of anime, because you know why?
Nigga.
I have a friend.
Storytelling, storytelling, depth, and the action material.
It's insane, but it just goes to show you the passion and it shows you the character development. When you can take someone as a baby or a fetus, bring them to a grown man, then kill him off. What does that do to you? It hurts. It hurts. And you feel real pain, right? However, they're not real. It's fiction. But that is just, it's a proof and testament to what this world is becoming when it comes to arts and culture. We are now in that time. And one of the biggest things that I think is so dope.
Talk your shit, bro.
One of the biggest things that I think is so dope, even now, like I'm huge on tattoos. You're sitting in front of me. I love the tattoo.
Tatted up.
Tatted neck. That's me. This is me in like
tatted up.
Adult form. Super adult form. Like, yo, I love it. You know why? I feel as we can be ourselves.
Exactly.
When we was in the military, as you know, me and Mo was both in the military. That's how we met. And one of the biggest things I used to tell my guys is like, yo, be yourself. Whatever that is, be yourself. Because when you're yourself, you're at the most happiest form. You're pure, and you don't have to be anything you're not. And I feel like I know there's a certain type of walk that you must walk when you're in certain fields and business. But at the end of the day, if you can walk freely and look the way you want to look and feel happy and content with yourself, you're gonna do so much more. And that's one thing I love about you, that I just met you, and already I feel like you my dog. Like, we chilling, we kicking it.
Oh, I'm talking like 10 minutes ago.
10-15 minutes ago.
10-15 minutes ago.
It's my brother.
And it's like the vibe, the whole connect here. It's just like the vibe is undeniable. I went to the bathroom, bro, and when I came back, like, you could just feel the energy in the room.
Definitely.
So you're right. And okay, so I'm a big collector, as you said, and you're a big collector. I know some of my junior.
You don't
guys,
even know.
I know.
You don't even know.
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna show you my videos and stuff like that. But huge on it. What inspired you to start collecting? What was it? I know we talked about, like, back in the day when you was living in Queens, Far Rockaway. You had that experience with your father. What really made you like, you know what? I want this. I'm gonna start collecting these things.
Well,
talk to me.
So, okay, like I told you, we traveled. You know, my mother was a traveling nurse. So she traveled back and forth. Like, she met my father. You know, we traveled from New York to Jackson, Mississippi. from Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi.
What?
So she actually had a gig.
He was
My
in the
mother,
deep south.
yeah, because back then, we were dealing with like polio, mumps, measles, stuff like that. So my mom, she was one of the many who were assigned in certain areas. So she went, to kind of help out with the epidemic, deep south.
She sound like Lovecraft.
Exactly, like seriously, like deep south. And my mother was, originally my mother's from Mississippi. But
wow.
She moved, she's from Jackson, Mississippi. So basically, that's her ancestor, that's her history. My mother's Choctaw Indian, so she's, that's basically her heritage. So anyway, moving from there, we actually moved back. I remember we stopped. This is what started it. We stopped at this this gas station, and anybody who basically collects comics, that, sometimes if there wasn't bookstores, if there wasn't actually comic book stores that they have now that are more convenience, you could actually go to like your local news agent or gas station, right, and they'd have the books. You just pull them off the racks.
I'm sorry.
This shit is fucking crazy.
No. This is just like Japan.
Yeah.
You walk into your local convenience store and they have the most updated comic version of the thing you're looking for. Yes.
So,
continue.
That shit is insane.
So the first book that I basically picked up was Strange Tales. So that was Strange Tales #1, and that was the first entry of Doctor Strange. That's the first time we actually seen Strange in comics. And anyone who knows, Strange's lineage, where he comes from, like the history, it really started back in Strange Tales. So I picked that book up. That was the first book I picked up. After that, moving forward, we're still traveling. Go to another gas station. I picked up Crisis on Infinite Earth, was a DC title.
Yes.
So I picked that up, and I'm reading comics. That's when I knew. But when I really knew that I wanted to collect is, like I said, when we went 1977, we went to the Trocadero in Jamaica, Queens, and my pops took me to go see Star Wars. The first, now remind you, it's called The New Hope now.
Yes.
It wasn't New Hope when it was released. It was just Star Wars.
Yes.
You know what I mean? New Hope came years after when they did the edits and stuff like that, and they wanted to actually make it a trilogy. So saw that, and that's when I pretty much knew that, but then again, it's like collecting to me, it wasn't just, it's nostalgic, but you're taking a piece of something that you want to make your own history. These are things that you take from
and making it your own.
And making it your own.
That's
so basically
dope.
You're taking a piece of these things, whether it's, memorabilia from posters, figures, even like back when we had like the tin can lunch boxes with the thermal in it. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm talking about back when, Kenner actually, so when Star Wars was released, they didn't have the figures, the merchandising like now what films have. They'll release all the merchandising before.
Right.
Kenner didn't have it at first, because the thing is, you got to keep in mind, George Lucas signed an exclusive deal. He was one of the first directors to sign a deal to, whereas when the merchandising was released, he got all rights. He got all that.
And then there's many celebrities that picked up after, like Jack Nicholson.
Way to corner the market.
Yeah.
Way to corner the market.
But see, the thing is, he did that at a time where he took a risk on an IP that no one knew was going to be as successful.
Exactly.
Even the company who Fox at the time, when they took it on board, they didn't actually anticipate it being such a phenomenon. And then when it happened, they released the figures, and that went crazy. So those figures were the first ones I collected. I mean, I'm talking about, I had all the characters. I had my Darth Vader carrying case that had all the figures that were actually in it, and still have those things. So I still basically have them and keep them. And the thing is, people have to understand, if you keep them things in mint condition,
that shit
nasty, how much money is worth.
You're sitting on gold mine.
Exactly. But you don't give it away because it's a piece of your history.
Exactly.
Right.
So, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than money.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, it just means that more when you say like our history, my history, that's the importance of it. And I think, it's amazing that you have all those things and you have the collection and
it's still there.
Right. And you value it and you understand
crazy.
it. And you're sitting on a gold mine. If you really wanted to, you saw your stuff today, I'm guarantee you'd be well off in the millions or maybe plus.
I can sell, and that's the thing, is it's like I get hit up about it all the time, but it's just like it goes back to nostalgia. We had this conversation last night on Robert Meyer Burnett's show.
Not back into that, player.
Robert Meyer.
Again, who was that?
Robert Meyer Burnett. Yeah, it's called The Burnett Work on YouTube. known. He's a good guy too. Really, really dope individual. But
y'all go follow, subscribe.
So yeah, definitely. Yep. But we talked about nostalgia, and we talked about history of nostalgia. Nostalgia itself, where we've come up through, whether it's film, collecting, certain things. I mean, we're used to, like, with me, and I don't know, and pretty much our generation, we're used to waking up on Saturday mornings. Today,
cartoons.
Saturday mornings, big bowl of Captain Crunch. You turn on TV.
Captain
Crunch. Whether it was Captain Crunch berries,
with the berries,
whether it was it was all of that. Frosted Flakes, whatever it might have actually been. You basically woke up, had the biggest bowl. You sat in front of the TV. You watched cartoons
for at least a good 2 hours. For at least a good 2 hours,
a couple of hours straight. Yep. And the thing is, what was dope about that was before, like summertime, when summertime and going into August, in between August, you would always either go to Giants. Or whether it
Meyer,
was
shout out to Michigan,
hey, or basically like Tufos in Queens. You basically go to these spots and you get the TV guide, because in that guide it actually told you what was coming, what was actually coming, what new shows were going to be dropping, what new cartoons were going to be dropping.
Even if you didn't buy it, you looked at it when you was in the checkout line with your mama.
Being in high school, being in not just high school, but actually being in elementary school. You get out, you ran home because you had to be home at least by 2:30, 3 o'clock, because you either knew Transformers were coming on, G.I. Joe, He-Man, all of those things.
Tie it back, even later than that, I got to get home because I got to watch Dragon Ball Z, bro.
Yeah,
I got to be home for Toonami, cuz. I got to be home for Toonami every day.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Ain't nothing to talk about. We ain't got time for tag. I got time for Toonami, bro.
So when I look at those things, and this is us, it's like this. When they create those IPs, it's personal for them, but when you put it out there, it doesn't belong to you.
It doesn't.
It's everyone's. It's us. So basically, even like with me collecting and me having a channel and I'm able to express these things, my history is no longer mine. I'm giving my history to everybody else. You know what I mean? And it's in a good way, because now you're opening and exploring that realm where there's individuals that, number one, who didn't have a voice. They've never had that voice before. They were so afraid.
You bring it back to IPs. Like when you say IPs, you done say IPs several times throughout this podcast. What do you mean by IPs? Like,
so Star Wars is an IP. So basically, you have Star Wars, you have Marvel, which is an IP. These are companies. It's sort of like a genre. It fits in its own property. It has its own space.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? You have DC. You have all these. When we talk about anime. You know what I mean? We have those things. These are things that are out there, but 10, 15 years ago, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
No,
because people were basically afraid to talk, especially within the black community. People were afraid to talk about it because it wasn't a level of coolness that you can actually see. You weren't cool if you talked about that.
Hell no.
You know what I mean?
Unless you was a kid.
And this is what I basically want to stress, and I say this till I die. Like, not everybody was actually genetically engineered to be drug dealers, basketball players, lawyers, and stuff like that.
Mr. Lael, can you repeat that for the guys in the back? Because they didn't hear you.
They didn't. Well. Not everybody was. Seriously, we weren't all genetically engineered to be basketball players, lawyers. Not all of us are out here selling drugs and stuff like that. There's other things that we can actually get into. But at the same time, it's because we were programmed to believe that if you gravitate to these things, that's what's going to bring you the most success.
Negative.
That's changed now. Social media and stuff like that has changed that narrative.
Facts.
We have this now. We have voices now where we can speak. We don't have to worry about tuning into certain networks or being a part of certain networks.
Stereotypes.
Exactly. You don't have to do that now because you have the opportunity to create your own broadcast. You become your own reporter. You don't actually have to have a degree in it because you're just basically
talking from experience.
You're talking from experience in something that you love to do. So you're engaging in an audience that you're creating that space for an audience that wants it. You know what I mean? So this is what for us, it is cool now to be a geek. Straight up. It's super cool to be a geek.
It's the best thing to be a geek.
Yeah, it is super cool to be that because like I said, your questions, people are going to ask questions. We know Marvel films are popular. We know DC's popular. We know we actually have Disney Plus. We have HBO Max that shows. We have all these different things. Now it's essential. And it's acceptable. You know what I mean? So when you can talk your shit, when you can actually have these conversations
when you can say
groups,
it how you fucking
like,
feel.
How you feel.
When you can actually talk, like, look, when these movies drop, I would never forget when Endgame, when Infinity War dropped. Woo. Yo, we got a group of individuals. So I started this. I actually have a group of individuals here that I'm really cool with, my boy Vinny and all that. we get together. It started out with like maybe 3 or 4 people when we met. Now there's about 40 to 42 of us that will go to the theater and occupy 2 rows to watch films. We occupy, and then after the film's over, we come outside and we have a discussion.
Nice.
And that's what kind of sparked the idea for us.
I need to record that shit. I'm
exactly. So this is where, like, when you talk about the 1/6 Scale YouTube channel, it's not only just reviewing figures, but on Monday nights we have what we call comic book talk with friends. So that's when we have.
Be there.
Yo,
I will
if you
be
want
there.
to, if you exactly,
I love it.
Exactly. If you ever want to get on, bro.
No.
If you ever want to jump on,
you got my number.
Exactly. If you want to jump on, jump on.
There.
Because we have these conversations. We have comic book talk with friends throughout the week. We actually, like Wednesdays, we'll actually have discussions on new releases as far as figures, different companies, you know, whether it's unlicensed companies, licensed companies such as Sideshow, Hot Toys, you know.
Hot Toys is fire, by the way.
Yeah, Hot Toys is real. It's
Shout
crazy.
I
don't think they get enough appreciation as they should.
Yeah, 3-0. You know, there's so many different companies that actually have, and even in Statue, XM Studios, when you want to get like your quarter scale statues and stuff like that. There's so many companies right now. We always talk about new releases, what's going to be released, and we kind of steer customers into that, you know, that avenue of that journey. Whereas, you know, if you don't, you know, how to basically budget when you want to get these, because these things are expensive. They're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
They're not cheap at all. They're literally not cheap.
Yes. So I'm gonna break it down for y'all, right? Real quick. We're gonna get back to budgeting and everything else and keeping up with the trends. But what was the most you ever spent? Because the most I've ever spent, hands down, there's 2 prices. There's one for one legit figure, and then there's one for a set of different figures. So for the one for a set of figures was like $350, and it came with 6 action figures, which was a build-a-figure. So you have 6 different action figures, which build one big figure. That was $350. Yeah. And then when I was in Japan, I went on a hunt for a Ghidorah. You know, if anyone doesn't know who Ghidorah is, it's the 3 golden dragons, 3 heads that equal 1.
Ghidorah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I bought Ghidorah.
Monster Zero.
Yes. And I bought it in Japan, and I paid $298.
God damn.
No, and I still have it to this day. That Ghidorah right now is worth $628. So it tripled over 3 years. Yeah. And I bought it in Japan, so I think because it has a Japan factor, it's even more. And I opened it, so that may bring the value down. However, I know I'm breaking even. Plus, I'm making bread. But the point of the matter is, they're worth money, bro. Yeah, so like my thing when it comes to like talking about budgeting and pricing and stuff like that, and you guys getting together and talking about this stuff.
You ain't seen this collection, bro.
I know he hasn't seen money. I got a collection too, nigga. Don't shit on me.
I know you do. I do.
I have a collection. Trust me.
But like he like right here. We got to drive 3 hours to get to your collection.
Yeah.
Like,
my collection.
Right here,
listen,
bro.
I have a broad collection. Yeah. I'm different. I'm touching everything. Yeah. Dark Horse comics. I'm touching Spawn. Yeah. I'm touching DC, Marvel. Everything. I'm all over the place.
Everything.
Talk your shit, say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Star Wars, everything. Yeah. I'm a nerd. I love this shit. I live for this.
Exactly.
But
it's an escape.
Point of the matter, right? Collection. What was the most you ever spent, hands down, on a collection or a figure or a group of figures?
A piece that I wanted the most?
Yes. And you did
I was willing to spend.
And wifey was like,
"You actually did."
You know, wifey was like, "Go ahead, babe. I know you really want it. Go ahead, babe."
Well, basically before I actually met her,
okay.
There was it's a quarter scale Mythos Vader that I wanted. It's a quarter scale Mythos Vader that it was hard to actually get, and I got it. It was worth. When I got it, I basically spent about $1,000 for it.
God damn.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I spent $1,000 for it. Now, to ask me how much it's worth now.
I know how much it's worth now.
Ask me how much it's worth.
It's worth $6,000.
It's actually worth right now. I would actually say, by market value, right now is worth at least 3.5. That's just by market value right now. It's worth 3.5. That's right now.
God,
that's just right now. But wait, though, it gets better than that.
But wait, so there's more.
So no, I got the 1/6 scale Obi-Wan from A New Hope.
When? I'm sorry.
So I got that basically about, I would say, yeah, it was about 2014, 2015. 2014, 2015. I actually got that figure. Still really major condition. I got it, basically at retail at that point. It was like $235.
That's basically at retail. At least $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right now it's sitting at 4.5.
What?
Right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen,
Talk about a flip.
Yeah.
God
but
damn.
you know what? I know what.
Just
I know,
from $235, that's where it's sitting right now because it's extremely expensive.
So listen, we didn't talk about this, but I didn't ask you, but do you have any kids?
Yeah.
Okay, boys, girls.
I got 2 daughters, bro.
2 daughters.
Guess
Shout
what?
out to my dog, real daddy.
And my daughter, like you teach her well, she's a super geek.
Listen, we talking about girl, boy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact you're her father. You're
yeah.
teaching her about this, the value of this.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
What does she think about this?
My daughter?
Yes.
Loves it. Loves it.
So
you know what the beauty of this whole thing
Yes.
is? The simple fact that me and my daughter can have these conversations.
I love it.
We can talk. She'll hit me up and be like, "Dad, did you see this episode of such and such?"
How old is she?
Like,
I'm so sorry. How old is
she's
she?
22.
My man.
And we basically can have that conversation. She'll call me up. She was like, "Dad, I took off on November 4th because I know we're going to go see Eternals." They talk about, and this has always been, the stereotypical thing to say is, I want a son to carry my legacy. Bro, your daughter can carry on your legacy just as more.
No, as a dad with daughters.
Yes.
I've never said that.
I have said that from day one because
Yeah.
I've always had that over my head. You
Yeah.
need your son to carry
No.
your legacy.
No.
But then after meeting Eva, though she is her mother,
His oldest.
that is my
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like she is her daddy.
She look just like her daddy
child.
too.
Exactly.
The whole like
She got hazel
the
eyes, by the
social
way.
activist
Yeah.
type deal behind her.
Her daddy.
Yeah.
That came behind her daddy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Malia has more of my personality, but like I have strayed so far away from you need a son to carry your legacy because
Yeah.
my daughters, they
Will
more
always-
me
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yes.
I
Listen,
can't imagine a son to be more me than my daughters are.
Exactly.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't. You can't.
all I'm gonna say is this: I don't have a daughter yet. But what I will say
Keep
is
harping
this.
on that shit, bro.
I
Keep
know.
harping on
I
it.
know. I'm
'Cause
gonna keep talking about it.
Come on.
Manifest that bad. I'm gonna manifest that
Yeah.
motherfucker. Anyway, listen. At the end of the day, right, when we talk about kids, and I brought it up because it's like you have an amazing collection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know you're not selling it.
Yeah, no.
So if you're not selling it, what are you doing?
What's
You're
the purpose?
Passed down.
What's the purpose?
is to pass
It'll be
down.
passed down.
And one thing about my boys,
So
and I
she
know-
can tell my story.
correct.
Fucking correct.
My
That's
goodness.
it. She'll
I
tell
got
my story.
goosebumps.
Is
She'll
your house
definitely tell
cold,
my
nigga,
story.
or is it
A little bit.
goosebumps?
She will.
Oh no, it's about
She
72
will.
in
She'll
here.
be able to educate. She'll be able to
Exactly.
actually talk about the same things, have these conversations. She can always flash back.
Right.
She knows my comics. She knows basically where to search. She knows everything.
Facts.
Everything that I know, she knows. And
Exactly.
then,
So
you know what I mean?
fucking
So
dope.
yeah.
And that's what it is. Like my boys, it's the same thing with them. Like they're in tune. They understand. They know that one day, I think I told you this shit, Mo. I called him, or I was in a room or something, and they were fighting over my collection. Right? They were like, "No, it's mine." Or when Dad gives it to me, it's mine. Like they understand.
I remember this.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, this is mine."
Yeah.
So they were fighting over. No, I want this one. No, I want that one. Because I'm not selling it.
Yeah.
But they know it's theirs.
Yeah.
And
They know it's going to be passed down.
Exactly. I was so happy to understand that. They take such value. They know one thing for sure. When they was 2 years old to 3 years old, I can't make this up.
Shout out Jersey.
I remember they was that little, 3 years old. They were like, we don't go in Dad's room.
Shout out to Jersey.
Yes,
We
yes.
do not go in Dad's room. You know
Yes,
why?
yes.
Dad will have a flip.
Yes.
And then they understood that when it was like 5, 6, 7, they was like,
Yeah.
this is mine.
Mhm.
Because they understand when they get older, all this has value, and
Yep.
they're gonna continue to tell our story.
Mhm.
That is what it's about. That's why
Mhm.
I asked if you had kids.
Yeah.
And girl, boy, or indifferent,
Yeah.
they understand that this is something that's handed to me.
Legacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly, bro.
Definitely.
That's why I brought it up.
Definitely is, bro.
I love it.
That's the thing is, it's like, it's when we talk about this culture, we talk about, and again, like I said, it's a space for us to exist in. It is an escape. It's seriously, like, I remember, bro, driving down the Ave. I was actually, when I was young, like, I mean, driving the Ave, I had my boy, actually my cousin, Tavar, he's a barber,
Mhm.
and my cousin Henny. Now, these cats, because there's a lot of thug dudes out there, like straight up that are in,
Rockaway?
like there's
for
some
sure,
major
for
thugs,
sure.
but there's a
For
major
sure.
thugs that are geeks, but they're just submersed in a world that they own, that they know
can't-
because
can't express
they
themselves
can't
that way.
express it. So
Right.
me driving with them is, I remember my cousin Tavar was like, bro, this world that you see right now isn't you. He said, this isn't you. He said, you're made for something different. So I don't want you to experience, you're not going to see this. He said, that's why we leave the barbershop. I take you from here to home. You don't see the rest of this world.
That's right.
So they always protected me they protected me from that lifestyle. You know what I mean? Tavar's basically been in and out of prison. My cousin Henny, same thing.
Shout out.
But at the same time, right now, they both actually have their own barbershop. It's flourishing.
What's their name, man? Let's give them a shout out, man.
Headhunters.
Yeah, shout out to
the
real
ones.
Yep, Headhunters. If you actually in Queens right now, Headhunters, that barbershop is still alive and well.
Barbershop.
Yeah,
for real?
Straight up.
That's where you had it?
I'm gonna go fuck with them.
Yeah,
I gotta see the.
You gotta see.
I gotta see the
You
photos.
gotta go in there.
No disrespect.
We're gonna try it out.
I can't go in there. You know, a barber is like your wife.
Barber, bro.
A barber is your wife.
Nigga.
You know how I feel about a barber.
Like hands down. And I'm not saying it because I'm biased.
Look at me when you talk to me now.
Hands down,
okay.
Bro. Literally hands, and I'm gonna tell you this because you're here, bro.
No,
hands down.
I gotta
hands
go,
down.
I gotta
Listen, bro. He will slay any barber in this city right now.
Bet.
Literally, and that's facts.
I'm coming
I put
to see
100
you,
on
family.
that. I put 100 on that.
100?
He's that nice.
I want 2.
Your fade would last longer than you know what I mean. Shit, my G. Your fade would last longer than 2 days.
Bet.
Trust me.
Yo, look at me.
Dead
ass
ass
for me.
Dead ass.
Car.
Dead ass.
Okay.
You go
All
find Headhunters and you tell them your cousin sent me. You know what I mean?
Can I get a discount?
I don't. Probably you never know.
10%. Give me 10%, bro. It's a couple dollars.
You know us black people going discount.
Man.
Can I get a discount? All right. No, you know what? I'll pay that man and I tip him.
Yeah.
You know what? Shout
Yeah.
out. I would.
Shout out to him and his service.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Yo, I love that energy. Family. He protected you from day one.
Yep.
And kept you on your path. And you know what's funny? It's not funny. I don't believe in
coincidences.
Crazy. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe everything is manifested the way it should be.
Yeah.
And they would.
And a nigga looked at me funny during the spiritual episode when I was talking that shit. Ain't that crazy?
Big facts. Yes.
Yo.
Big facts. Yo, it is amazing. And the energy in this room is cool. Is it cold in here, niggas? Your AC fucked up? Or is it just...
it is always cold in this house.
It ain't a coincidence.
Yo, it is downstairs. I don't even want to go down because that last time you took me downstairs, bro.
Shout out to my Caucasus ancestry.
These niggas crazy.
I run cold. Okay?
He does. He runs on cold.
You feel me? So as a matter of fact, I run hot. So if it's not cold, I'm hot. So 70 is my baseline, baby. That's where we at. We at about 72 right now. So I think I'm sweating.
This nigga
Y'all niggas talking about cold.
Bro, I'm a nip.
I know.
Nipsey.
He been shivering
it's
since
a
he
little bit
walked in here.
Nipsey Hustle in here, bro.
Yeah,
like
man.
straight up.
I run cold. Shout out to my Caucasus
really
ancestry, my
Straight
Viking
up, bro.
heritage. We here, baby. Shout out to them. Thank you for making me who I am.
Anyway, listen. as we get back to the topic, though, one of the biggest things, right, that I wanted to ask you, what made you become comfortable? I know you talked about your collection and where it came from, but what made you become comfortable and say, you know what, I'm just going to show up in the world as I am? What was that turning switch,
bro?
for you?
You know what? I've always been this way, bro. That's the thing is, it's like anybody who knows me, I've always been on this level. Just because, now, don't get it twisted though, and I want people out there to realize it's because we in this geek culture. Do not think I ain't nice with these hands.
Okay, listen.
Like, straight up.
Can I say
Talk
something
your
real quick?
shit.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I know you're not pussy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
pussy.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
definitely not pussy, and I
Exactly.
know you're not pussy either.
So
And that's
I
hold
want to
up,
put that
before
out
you
there.
even finish, let's tie it back into this shit.
Yeah.
Light skinned niggas ain't pussy, bro.
Oh,
Don't get it fucked up.
Niggas, can you
Do
stop
not get it fucked
Stop
up.
it.
I might listen to
Genuine.
fucking R&B,
Oh, shit, he said
Genuine. I'll be sure, my nigga, but you will catch
Avant,
these
nigga, don't forget Avant.
Avant, nigga.
Yeah.
Goddamn it. Every time I see you, goddamn,
I mean,
I'm here, bro.
But nah,
You will get fucked up.
Exactly.
Do not judge a book by its cover.
No, don't
We
judge
about
it.
action.
But the
Geeks,
thing
light
is,
skins, we here.
Hey, listen. Listen. I think it's just being. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And any guy listening to this right now, straight up, if you were living my world right now, if you live in my world, if you live in any type of, if you're so comfortable, if you speak your truth and you are honest with who you are, women will appreciate you more.
Every
100
Literally.
time.
Literally, like instead of basically just living this life that doesn't
Stop lying
belong
to
to
yourself,
you,
nigga.
like if you were true, because the thing is, it's like that door has been open.
Facts.
Shout out to Kevin Feige for opening that door for a lot of us,
Facts.
because like I said, he's put that out to the forefront, you know. And the thing is, I think culturally for me, it's been crazy because Stan Lee actually gave us this opportunity,
Facts.
culturally opportunity. If you know the history behind your comics and where
God
these
bless the
characters
dead.
came from,
God
Yes.
bless the
then you
dead.
would actually
Shout out
know
to the
that
ancestors.
these things, things were written, documented off of struggle, off of just, oppression and all that. What Magneto, what Professor X really represented. And if people who know comic books, oppression, but at the same time, what was Professor X? Professor X was patterned off of who? Martin Luther King.
Oh shit.
No,
Professor X.
Martin Luther King
was off of
Malcolm X. That's what I'm saying. So culturally, these things are just as we have a right within our culture to be who we are and have a space. I just think that you as a person need to actually embrace that and stop trying to. You can't it's like not everybody is living the street life, man.
And one thing I know about me is that I don't give a fuck. Because I am who I am. I show up how I show up. And as you sat down here an hour ago and we was vibing and Mo came out the bathroom, he looked at me like, damn, these niggas they best of buds.
Yeah.
Right?
Energy different, man.
It's just, I don't have to. That's one thing about people. I feel like a lot of people back in the day, especially your age, my age coming up, they feel they have to be more than what they are. No.
Yeah. You know what film that I always reference and I always tell people to watch? If you need to realize the discovery of who you are is so important. Spike Lee's Clockers. Mekhi Phifer.
It's an old movie.
It's called Clockers.
Keep it in respect. I got this movie downloaded. I had this movie downloaded for the past 3 years and have not watched it since.
Watch this movie. It's called Clockers. Watch the movie. And the reason why I actually say that is because Mekhi Phifer in that film, he was a hustler. You know what I mean? But at the same time, behind closed door, he collected trains. He was a collector. He collected small trains. He had them on tracks. If he showed you his room, that was what was important to him. Like, it was amazing. And that was the reason why when I'm watching this particular film, I'm like, yo, like, it makes sense that this is displayed because people know him for what they see in the streets. But he is really, basically, he had a dream. What he did on the streets was to supply his need to collect and his passion for collecting and trains, because that's where he was. And that speaks volumes for a lot of us, that there are a lot of us out there that like that, but they just don't. You feel me?
Bro, I have felt like I had woke up a couple years ago and on this film of being I had got a film strip of woke films and woke books that was like, if you really want to wake up, these are the ones you need to watch and or read. And on that list, Clockers was on that list. I had downloaded this fucking movie and never sat down and watched it. So the fact that you bring that up, it ties me back in to that same path of like, you know what, this is something that I really need to sit down and watch. So I appreciate y'all even bringing this up.
Watch that movie, bro.
Because that has been sitting in my library. My dog, no shit.
Watch it.
For the past 3 years, it's been sitting there and I haven't watched it yet.
Watch it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it speaks so much for people within the culture
for you
for you being who you are.
It shows two sides to an individual.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Like, it's incredible, bro.
And there is two sides to every person.
And there's
every time,
bro. All right. So if I sat up here and told you that Method Man is one of the biggest geeks in the industry, would you believe me?
Now,
I know this. I'm about to say,
I kind of feel like I was privy to this information prior to, because me and you talked about this a little bit ago.
Jizza is one of the biggest fucking geeks, and that's how him and Method Man connected in itself. Bro. Because, like, yo, look at how he raps. Look at the things that he talks about on the intellectual level. You know who else does that? And I was talking to Free about this. My brother, I know, I wish he was here. You know who else does that doesn't get recognition for it?
Who?
Fucking Childish Gambino.
Yeah. But there's a lot of them out there, bro.
There's so many, but they don't get recognized.
Ghostface is a geek.
Ghostface is the biggest geek.
He's one of the biggest geeks.
That nigga,
Tony Stark,
hard,
where he got his name. He's a hard dude, but that's where he got his name. Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac he's an actor. He's been in so many different films.
Isaac? You know Oscar Isaac.
You know Oscar Isaac. Give me a movie. He was in The Force Awakens. He was in what was it called?
I need a face.
Research Department.
Yeah,
he was also in he's in this HBO. If you watch HBO, him and Jessica Chastain, the show called
Yeah. You know Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Bro. Okay. So that's Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac
what else was he in?
is one of the biggest 1/6 scale collectors that you will ever know.
Get the fuck out of here.
With all due respect.
Dead ass.
No way.
Dead ass.
What?
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna show you. The reason why I'm gonna actually show you this.
I like Buddy as an actor too.
Yeah.
I feel like every movie he done been in, I didn't enjoy it, but I can't recall one off the top of my dome.
In essence, the reason why I say this is because there's a lot of them out there, even in the industry, that are collectors. You know, but the thing is, this just shows you how, how right now it's in the forefront. You know, everybody now, like when
It's coming to light.
it's basically coming to life.
It's open
It's
now.
actually open out there right now.
And you can be who you really
Yeah,
are.
you can be who you
without
really
judgment.
are. You know what I mean? This is basically one of them. This is just him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So okay, now that you show me this picture, I'm gonna post this.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever been to Comic-Con?
Yeah, I'm going this year.
Nigga, yes.
I go every year.
Bro.
I go every year.
Do you dress up?
I did it one year, but we did that one at the San Diego Comic-Con. It was a bunch of us. We actually went into 501st.
Okay. Listen. So I've done a Comic-Con every year, and let me tell you right now, it is one of the most stressful things in my life. Like, no, I'm keeping this stack. Comic-Con is something that you have to prepare for. It's not easy to do.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be with. And as I went to them every year, I was like, okay. Since 2018, I went. So 2018 to 2020, I was just like, oh, it's hard. And one of the biggest things that I can say about Comic-Con is like, you meet so many people there.
Yeah,
and you feel comfortable, you feel at home, you feel at peace, and that is the atmosphere I think we're reaching now in society.
Bro, the thing is, it's all walks of life when you go. Like that's the thing. Everybody goes to Comic-Con. New York is highly influential when it comes to Comic-Con.
Yes.
I've been here. Is super huge. Yep. San Diego is super huge. Japan, come on, I already know it's huge.
It's
it's
not as big as you think, but it's dope.
It's extreme. I mean, because like I said, with anime, especially the anime culture in Japan is incredible. But I mean, it's like I said, this is a growing thing, and it's more acceptable, and it's open now to be who you are. But again, it's just it's open, but people have to recognize that it's acceptable.
Right.
They have to recognize that it has value, to basically be who you are, no matter what it is. Like, just embrace it and not be so fearful that someone's going to be opinionated.
Correct.
You know what I mean? People don't really. I don't know. I don't know. I look at it right now. I'm just like, I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand that, but we'll get there. We'll get to that point. Yeah.
So, okay, as we close, I want to ask you one big last question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite anime, if you have any at all?
Okay, so my fan me.
Tell you you can tell me as many as you want, but talk to me.
See, here's one, because I'm gonna tell you how dated I am.
Okay.
This goes back years ago.
Talk to me. I'm very well in.
So in America, we will know it as Star Blazers.
So in Japanese culture, it would be considered.
In Japanese, it's I think is Yasmoto 1000 or something like that. I forget what it's called. But here is Star Blazers. This show, or this actual cartoon, was released back in I think it was like 1978. It was more prevalent in 1981. If you look up Star Blazers, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen to date.
What made it so great?
Bro, it's hard for me to actually, because you would have to watch it to simply understand. And being that you both are war veterans, I mean, y'all were basically in you will love it.
So what stood out about that to you that really
what stood out to me was just the struggle for survival, bro. It was a struggle for survival, but at the same time, these were, they were, not only just, it was military. They were, voyagers. If you see the ship, did you actually put it up just now? You see that ship?
Research department.
You see that ship?
I do. So as we're reviewing it, I'm getting the notes from my research department. It's actually one of the first televised animes that was translated to English.
Yep.
And it came out in 1974.
74. It was shown in 78, and then
exactly.
Yeah.
4 years translation. It took 4 years for the translation to come to correlate, and it talks about pretty much like as you can see. It talks about it's like a Star
deep.
Wars.
Yeah.
Not
Deep.
Star Wars. Not
Yeah.
Star Wars. Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like-
They
it's
actually,
like
bro,
Star Trek.
they actually fought what is called a living comet.
Yes.
It was a living comet. That ship that they had in the front of it, they used to channel all their energy in what was called a wave motion gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? It was incredible. Like, it was one of the most incredible shows I've ever seen on TV,
Shit
bro.
is deep, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to the research department for all this info.
Right.
Like, shit is deep.
Yeah.
So so it took 4 years to translate that.
Mhm.
1974 is when they officially came
Yep.
out in Japan, and then
They brought it here.
1978,
And that's when they were allowed to have
Yeah.
the American interpretation.
correct.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy
that's
because
dated,
now it's
yep.
like a month.
That, and then followed that was another show called Battle of the Planets.
Yes.
So that was another one. Now you can actually even find these shows now. They actually updated those versions, remastered, and they've actually have newer versions of these shows on Netflix. So you can even watch them on Netflix now. That's how dope it was, bro.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Hey, listen, Lael, it was amazing having you
It was a
on,
pleasure.
bro.
Yes.
Man, I honestly feel like we're gonna do this again. I don't know
man.
how soon, but we're gonna be doing this again
Yeah,
because there's
definitely.
so much more information that we have to
Yeah.
pick your brain to.
I
and-
feel like
bro.
the vibe outside of this is
Was
gonna
phenomenal.
be crazy too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
even
Like,
like
once we-
deeper than just a platform. Like
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot more connections. That's
you know I'm
made
walking
here.
next door when we're done, right? I'm
Huh?
gonna go see your shit when we're done.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah, yeah.
You
That's
can
about
do
to
that.
happen.
We're gonna cut
It's
these
a little,
mics
it's a little messy. I have to warn you. It's a little messy
Man,
down there, but other than that,
I'm
it's
from
cool.
New York City, bro.
You already know how I
You
go.
got rats?
Nah,
you
hell
good,
no.
bro?
So thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Shout out to my motherfucking dog, Lael Rockwell,
Yes,
my
yes.
guy, Mr. 16thScaleMan. Make sure I follow him on all platforms. We're gonna have all of his links in our fucking description. Shout out to my dog.
Yes.
Here we are, man. Say how you feel. Thank y'all for tuning in this episode. Hope y'all pick something up, put something down, gain something
Appreciate y'all,
from this.
man. Thank you. Hey, Lael, thank you so much, man.
No doubt.
We
Appreciate
love
it, bro.
y'all. We love you.
Yes.
My
Thank
dog.
You. Appreciate that, bro.
We
Big
here.
facts.
Definitely.
And that's a wrap.
Anytime.
Hey, peace.
Peace.